Hello, welcome to Math Made Public. Today we're going to be talking about the coordinate plane. Okay, so the coordinate plane is our system where we plot points. Okay, coordinate means points. Okay, and plane in mathematics just means a flat two-dimensional space that goes on infinitely, forever and ever. And that's what these arrows signify, that this goes on forever and ever. So we're going to talk about the parts. Okay. So first and foremost, we have the x-axis, which goes horizontally, and the y-axis, which is vertical. Okay. So we want to mark those. So this is my x-axis, and this is my y-axis. Okay. The axis has four parts. Okay. These are called quadrants. Okay. Quad means four. Okay. So it has four quadrants. Okay. This first quadrant is called quadrant 1, and we use Roman numerals to represent the quadrants. Okay, and then it goes counterclockwise. So now I'm going to go this direction. This quadrant here, this is quadrant 2. This one is quadrant 3, and this one is called quadrant 4. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to label the tick marks. Now, labeling the tick marks, which are these lines here, is really important because they have to be spaced consistently, okay? Which means that each one has to represent the same space throughout, okay? And those can change from axes to axes. It's really up to you what you choose to label your axes depending on your information, okay? But today we're just going to go by ones. So I'm going to label this 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just go up to 5. The right side is positive. The left side is negative, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, this top part is positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the y-axis. And going down on the y-axis, these are negative, going down, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay. Now, every point in this first quadrant is going to be positive, okay? We always start at the origin. This is the origin. So this point here in the middle, that's 0, 0, okay? All the points are always x, then y. We always represent them this way with these two parentheses. The first one's always x and the second one's always y. And it's that way because it's in alphabetical order and it's meant to be that way so that it's easier for you to remember, okay? So it's always x and y. So I always start in the middle, okay? And if I go right and up, I remain in this first quadrant. Every point in the first quadrant is always going to be positive. The x will always be positive, and the y value will always be positive. The second quadrant, any point in here, will always have a negative x because I have to travel left, and then I have to go up to be in this quadrant. So the y will be positive and the x is always negative. So in this quadrant, the x is always negative and the y is always positive. Okay, and just to mark that for you, remember this is always the x value, this is always the y value. This is x, this is y. In the third quadrant, every x is negative because I have to move left to get to the third quadrant and I have to go down. And so going down also signifies a negative. Okay, so this here is going to have a negative x and a negative y. Every point in quadrant 3 will have a negative x and a negative y. All right, the fourth quadrant to get here, if I start at the origin, I have to move right, which is going to give me a positive x. And I'm going to have to move down, which is going to give me a negative y. X, y, okay? So this here is the origin. We don't want to forget that. Okay, so these are the basic parts of the coordinate plane, Okay, and it's really important to understand the field which you're playing on before you start plotting points. Okay, learn it, teach it, pass it on. Thank you.